You ever get this overwhelming feeling of just, you don't know where to start? You have so much to do, so much you want to do. You don't have enough money, you don't have enough resources, you don't even know where to start. And you have this sense of like urgency, like it all has to happen now. And the more time goes on, you just like start to feel like your head is gonna explode. You feel like weight on your chest, you feel a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety, right? And then maybe sometimes when you don't get those things accomplished, you feel really down on yourself. You feel maybe even depressed. That's what we're gonna talk about in this video. Hello to my feminine bosses. My name is Gabrielle Noelle and I am the HBIC around these parts. Welcome back to my channel, a place for retail, beauty, and creative entrepreneurs to transform their ideas into profitable businesses. So here are some telltale signs that you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you are experiencing some major stress, anxiety, or even depression. The first thing is that you are constantly second guessing yourself. Anything that you want to do, any move that you want to make, you're almost crippled by the thought of, is this the right decision? It's really stifling your creativity. It's also stifling your progress and your growth. Because the more you publish and the more you create, the better at it you get. If you just keep something inside your heart and inside your mind and you never give it a chance to breathe in real life, you'll never be able to test it to know if it's really gonna work or how it really resonates. It's best to just publish, to just create, and to just keep going. And not everything is gonna work. Some things are gonna flop. But second guessing yourself is even worse because it puts you in a state where you're just stuck. The second thing we tend to do as entrepreneurs is pick ourselves apart. We literally will do something amazing, but not want to post it because of how something looks or just because it wasn't exactly what you had thought. This is something I am completely guilty of. Many ideas that never saw the light of day because I got in my feelings and I started picking myself apart. And then when I happened to show, people that are close to me, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Why didn't you publish this? But I got in my head, and as entrepreneurs, we tend to do that. So be mindful that you're doing it in a healthy way. You're giving yourself constructive criticism, but that you're also allowing yourself room for growth, and you're still creating and publishing in the meantime. You're still just doing what feels right in that moment. And you'll look back, of course, and be like, oh, I would do that differently now, because that comes with growth and experience. But you can't stay stuck where you started because you're afraid of what it'll look like when you finish. Do you understand? The third thing we tend to do as entrepreneurs is avoid expressing our opinions. Just keep our head down. We try not to be too boisterous about certain things unless it pertains to our business. And we're not really expressing ourselves and sharing ourselves with other people, just our general opinions, because as a business owner, a lot of times you don't want to alienate your customers. You don't want to alienate your creative, your clientele base. So sometimes you keep all that in and you're not expressing yourself fully. And that could really feel, it could feel isolating. It could feel overwhelming because you're not getting it out. And you're not always going to have the right opinion. You're not always going to be able to articulate it in a way that everyone just understands and everyone's on your side. But that's part of growth. The more you get it out and you say how you feel in that moment, the more you can be corrected, and the more you can allow the world to kind of either embrace you or to, for it to be a teaching moment for yourself. But if you keep it all bottled up inside, it'll never present itself to the world, and it'll never be able to be fine-tuned. The fourth thing we tend to do as entrepreneurs is to feel like nothing is ever good enough. This goes back to picking yourself apart. When you're out with your friends, when you're out with family, when people try to do things for you, you might be a really creative person. So when someone tries to do something for you, you're picking it apart. And you're just like, why did they do it like this? This is not what I would have done. This is below my standards. Nothing is good enough. That kind of mindset is what makes us great, right? Because we've always got ideas. We always want things to be better. We're always looking for ways to improve it. But it doesn't allow you to just enjoy the moment, to enjoy what someone is trying to do for you, to look at the good in what's happening and to really appreciate what someone is trying to do. It just live in the moment. You cannot control everything. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, keep that mindset on your business. But when it comes to friends and family and your significant other, let go of control, be in the moment, and just appreciate people and at their level of creativity. No one's gonna be your genius mastermind and do things the way that you do. And that's the blessing, is that you are who you are and they are who they are. So experience people where they're at and at their level, and just learn to just stay in the moment and enjoy things, the good. Always find the good in everything. The fifth thing we tend to do as entrepreneurs is to make every conversation about business. Guilty. I'm guilty of all these things on the list. Let me just give a disclaimer. I'm guilty. But it's things that I've grown to overcome and things that I'm still working on. But I think the first step is to just acknowledge that that's what you do. But yeah, making every conversation about business when you talk to your friends, when you talk to your family, and that's a lot of pressure. Sometimes people don't want to talk about your next idea, how you're going to take over the world, and you're about to do this and you're about to do that. Sometimes people just want to talk about whatever they want to talk about. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you might feel that those conversations take you off your game, and you might feel like, well, if it ain't about money, I ain't concerned. And I get that. There's a lot of that rhetoric going around that you got to be super laser focused on entrepreneur and you got to protect your circle and only be around certain people. But the truth is, your friends and your family, a lot of times they're not entrepreneurs, and you cannot discard your friends and your family and people that love you and that have known you all your life and care for you regardless of what you're doing. They're proud of you. Learn to appreciate those relationships regardless of if they're bossed up or not. Really make a conscious effort to have other things to talk about besides business or your next power move. But the last thing I'm going to mention is feeling guilty. Feeling guilty for missing functions, missing birthday parties, and just missing moments with friends because you're working, or because you're just focused, or because you don't have any money because you've invested it all in your business. Don't feel guilty for making decisions that are best for yourself, but also be honest. Don't lie. Be honest. And be willing to deal with the consequences of missing things that are important to your friends and your family. Embrace the fact that you may not be invited moving forward. And if you're not okay with that and being iced out, then you need to make an effort. If you're okay with that and you understand that that's the consequence, then fine. Just be honest, be transparent with your friends and your family, and be like, listen, for the next 6 months, I may not be around, but please know that I'm here in spirit, and after 6 months, I'm back outside, okay? So just be transparent and just understand that other people have feelings, and that, yeah, they are gonna get in their feelings about you missing things. It's like out of sight, out of mind. People start to lose that connection with you, and they feel like you don't care and that they're not important to you. So if that's not the case, and if that's not how you feel, then make the effort. But if you do have to end up missing things, try not to live in that guilt. Be transparent. Talk to them about it and let them know it's nothing personal, and let them know when you will be available. And when you do come back outside, make sure that you're completely present and make sure that you're making up for lost time. So in closing, there are 3 things that I really want you to focus on. And number 1 is having an identity outside of your business and outside of your goals. Make sure you're doing things and you're hanging out with people that have nothing to do with your business sometimes. The second thing I want you to do is to live in the moment. Make a conscious effort to live in the moment and experience what's happening in the now. Don't just show up and figure, well, I'm here, but in your mind, you're like, okay, as soon as I get back, I need to do this, I need to do that. And you're just thinking about everything you need to do and what you could be getting accomplished if you weren't there. No, I need you to fully be present, get involved. It's a great release. It actually increases your creativity and your productivity when you get back to work. The third thing is, and it is really about loving yourself, no matter what. This entrepreneur journey is not for the faint of heart. Don't be too hard on yourself. Find ways to put love and care back into your life. Treat yourself with respect. Make sure you're showing up as your full potential self. In the long run, you're gonna run yourself ragged and you're gonna decrease your productivity and you're just not gonna get it done. And you're gonna turn around, look at yourself. You didn't maybe gained weight or lost weight, you know, your hair hasn't been done. Make sure you're loving on yourself, you're taking care of yourself, and you're forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for making those mistakes. Don't feel guilt and shame. If you're suffering from stress, anxiety, or even depression as an entrepreneur, don't ignore it. Don't think it's just simply tied to this project and once I'm done this project, I'll feel better and things will be done. No. If you would like more support, if you want to join a support group of other entrepreneurs where we talk about things just like this, stress, anxiety, depression, and we also give each other business advice, and you know, you have someone like me, a moderator, to help you through the tough times, please join my Facebook group. There is a link in the description. It's easy to join, and I hope to see you there. If you like the necklace that I'm wearing today, it is an Our Father pendant. It has the Our Father prayer on one side and the Serenity prayer on the other side. It's one of my favorite pieces. It has a good weight to it and it's gold plated. If you like it, you can cop it on my site, shopcocoari.com, and use the code YouTube15 for 15% off. Toodles.